Welcome back to Your Birth Bestie podcast. This is day 4 of the 5-day series about overcoming hospital birth fears to celebrate 6 months of this podcast. And before we get started, I am doing a daily giveaway this week to thank you for being here and for being part of this amazing community. So each day, one lucky listener who reviews the show and sends me a screenshot of that review and then shares their favorite episode on Instagram stories, tagging me at BethConnors_CNM, will win a $50 Amazon gift card. And today's topic is all about labor complications and fears that you might have about what could happen during pregnancy and birth. We have all been there, but it's the way in which we address these fears and explore what they mean and their risks to you as an individual person and to cope with them in our mind so that they don't take over. Hey there, I'm Beth Connors, a midwife and mom of 2, but also your birth bestie. In this podcast, we'll dive deep into everything you need to feel confident, prepared, and in control, from baby bump to delivery room, from practical tips to personal stories. We'll cover it all so you know exactly what to expect every step of the way. Let's get into it. So, what am I talking about when I say labor complications? And in simple terms, these are unexpected situations that can come up during birth, making that process that you're expecting a little bit more challenging. So complications can range from minor hiccups that are easily managed to more serious situations that require prompt emergency medical intervention. Now, I want you to know something very important, and it's that experiencing complications during labor is not something that you can control or that you can predict. If something changes in your birth and you're considering going against that really thought out birth plan that you made and you spend all this time at, it's not your fault and it's not a reflection of your abilities as a mom. Complications can happen to anybody, and that's why we have highly trained medical professionals around you when you're giving birth to help. Whether you're at a hospital or a birthing center or at home, there is usually someone there that is able to help you figure out what's next if something goes not according to plan. And I did say help you decide, because even in emergent situations, you are still able to have an autonomous experience. And we'll talk about how you can still be calm and in control, even if there are labor complications, whether they're big or small. So if you're listening to this and you feel your heart rate getting faster and maybe you're uneasy at even the thought of something going against your ideal birth plan, it is totally normal to have worries and fears about labor complications. The thought of something going wrong during childbirth can be really, really scary and can occupy a lot of your mind and even take over your pregnancy if it gets really bad. But this is what I don't want for you. I really just want you to know that you are not alone in this feeling, and just because your pregnancy may be low risk and everything has been really going great so far, it's okay to have negative thoughts. But I also want you to feel okay sharing these fears and these thoughts and acknowledging them. A lot of times we push feelings away because we think that we should be happy that we are healthy and that our baby is healthy. And you might feel guilty for thinking negatively or feel like you shouldn't have these thoughts. But you can feel or think whatever you want. It's exploring those fears that are going to help you get over them for sure. So please just share them with somebody and address them before you have your baby. It will definitely help you process your birth before it happens and really just be that much more prepared. And to put your mind at ease, let me share something really reassuring with you. Your medical team is well prepared to handle emergencies no matter what setting that you're in. They have probably seen just about everything and know exactly the steps to take to ensure that you and your baby are safe. And this is also part of that screening process if you're planning a home birth or a birth center birth, that you'll ask what their transfer rate is to the hospital, and you'll ask about emergency protocols and all of those things to really get a better understanding of what that would look like if it happened. But I like to focus on hospital birth because that's where my training has been and that's where the majority of moms are having their babies. But your doctor or your midwife, as well as the nurses that are around you and the supporting staff, they have training and skills and all the equipment necessary to ensure the safety of both you and your baby. And if you're not sure what certain complications can occur, I would not recommend going to Google and going down that rabbit hole that will lead you to probably a very dark place. But I encourage you to talk with your healthcare provider or somebody like me, a childbirth educator or birth support person, to work through any concerns that you have. You can find counselors also that specialize in birth fear that could be a good fit for you. But most moms would benefit from learning from a childbirth class or finding resources to know what to expect during birth. It's not about going into the nitty-gritty, scary details of birth. It's just about general systems in place and precautions for if something does happen. You want to know what that situation looks like. So, for example, when I meet with my clients one-to-one, I will talk about what an unplanned or emergency cesarean section looks like, maybe what a shoulder dystocia looks like, what happens if there's extra bleeding after delivery, what happens if baby is in distress during labor and people are in your room helping you reposition and really help the baby recover from whatever is going on with them. There are many scenarios where moms can find themselves scared and surrendering to the hospital system and trusting the process in that moment. But if you're anything like me, having at least a bit of the picture and being able to play that scenario in your head once before and preparing for how you would feel and act to lessen that in the moment freak out is so helpful. The fear of labor complications often come from the uncertainty of the childbirth process itself. And while pregnancy is a time of joy and anticipation, it's also a period of a lot of changes and sometimes anxiety. It really is important to acknowledge your fears while also recognizing the resilience and strength that can come about when faced with adversity during childbirth. So, while complications can happen, they don't define your entire birth experience. The love and determination that you have for your child can help you overcome these challenges, as well as the support and hopefully the preparation beforehand that you have can help in that healing. If you find yourself in pregnancy constantly having negative thoughts about birth in your head, or just increasingly getting nervous as you are waiting for your labor to start, you may benefit from positive affirmations and printing them out and putting them on your mirror or in your car or at your desk, wherever you might need a reminder. It's really a way to reframe your thoughts with affirmations. And these are things like saying, fear will not control my birth, or my body knows what to do, or I trust my support team. Saying things like this to yourself can absolutely help you boost your confidence. And the last thing I think is important to talk about is the role of prenatal care. It really is a way to check on yourself and your baby and build a connection with your provider, and plays an important role in identifying and addressing potential complications early on. So I know it gets to be a lot going so frequently at the end of your pregnancy, but talk with your provider about if the frequency of appointments, if those are an issue for you, if maybe you can skip a few. And I'm not encouraging you to do this because I'm not your provider, I don't know your situation, but I'm just saying that in certain situations, there might be less important appointments, like maybe the one at 16 weeks or 32 weeks. And if skipping these are appropriate for you and helps you be able to go to the other ones that maybe are more important, that might be a good option. And the reason why I'm stressing the importance of frequent check-ins is because when you are seen regularly, it is easier to detect any potential complications or health issues early on and then have a greater chance at a positive outcome. But like I said, communication with your healthcare provider is important during prenatal care. And hopefully, if you're having any worrying symptoms or discomforts or concerns, they are able to address those quickly and answer those questions and really support you through any worries that you have, or at the very least, help you identify what's going on and provide you with resources to seek more support. Talking with your provider can also offer reassurance to you if they can explain maybe a safety measure that's in place around a certain complication that you're worried about, and would help you get the confidence by sharing their experience in managing complications, knowing that they have already done it before. It's all about building trust in this intimate, life-altering journey of pregnancy. And many moms-to-be find that their fear of complications go way, way down as they become more informed about pregnancy and childbirth. While Complications are always a possibility. They are not guaranteed. So helping moms overcome their fears is so powerful and helping them enjoy their pregnancy rather than just wish it away because they are so anxious or worried and can't take that anticipation. I have been there before myself, so I get it, and I am always here for you too if you need support. Thank you for joining me on day 4 of this 5-day series. Tomorrow we will tackle our final birth fear, which is the postpartum period, and things to prepare for to make the transition less scary and overwhelming. Don't forget to enter our daily giveaway by reviewing the show and sharing your favorite episode on Instagram stories, tagging me at BethConnors_CNM. You could win a $50 Amazon gift card. Thank you again for being here, and I will see you tomorrow.